life can damage us. You want to know why life can damage us? We lose our spirit. Our spirit has been forcefully removed. Much of the knowledge of the ancestors has been discredited and has been disregarded. The connection with the ancestors is non-existent for many of us. We are taught to believe it is hogwash. It is irrational and unpractical to listen to your ancestors. And yet, for thousands of years before this long, dark age we've been in, our whole existence was about, and still is, about the connection with the earth. The ancestors, we know, join with the earth. They emerge with the earth. And one day we will too. And the timing of our passing and the timing of our transition into another realm, another dimension. In the loss of our spirit, we are given foolish thoughts, foolish habits, foolish patterns. We take them in and we begin to believe them, begin to believe the foolishness that is out there in the world. We realize that this world, this magic show, is simply a distraction, an illusion. We wonder, why would the world distract us? What is the game of it? And many of our ancestors have discovered in their great meditative journeys. Human beings, individuals and groups of individuals are quite powerful when they are creatively liberated. And creativity can only be accessed through the spirit. We know this. We can try to grab innovation, inventiveness from the logic mind, but we know all too well these great scientists and mathematicians were not just using the logic mind. There is another piece that is withheld. It's hidden from us, but they're very much nonetheless there. That is the spirit, the spirituality, the ability to connect with knowledge of the land and of the earth. And though we don't have logical explanation or even a logical understanding for what that is, but we know. I know this journey. I know this journey of love. The exceptional, exuberant, ecstatic experience of joining with you, my mate, my friend, my protector, my guardian, and my highest lover. And joining with you all of the knowledge we've gathered lifetimes that has gotten us here today, the great wealth of our soul. Coming to you in many forms, in many ways, throughout time, has been a voyage of restoring the sincerity of connection. Because in this world where we're fed this foolish behavior and foolish thoughts and foolish habits that are quite seducing, quite distractive, and yet very destructive as well, can almost damage us in some ways, and it has in other ways, has torn us up, confused us, invited in these dark energies that have brought us down into the dirt where we hold ourselves back in our shame, regret, and in all our depression. We know, I know, that moving beyond whatever damage is, and many people don't even know. Many people think it's normal. It's natural to feel broken. It's natural to feel foolish and to be fooled, to be a trickster and to be tricked. That's just how it is. But we know, because we've been to those realms on this planet thousands of years ago, where we've been very close with our ancestors, where we had direct access to their knowledge, the knowledge of many generations that many people today have no idea how creatively sublime they could be. But the logic mind, the soul logic mind, cannot connect. Just can't. Just can't. Logic mind can get you all the greatest theories and help you to solve all the problems, but when it comes to greater formulas, greater equations, we know in those many lifetimes before this dark age, when there was spirituality, artistry, and technology that was even more advanced than today, a place where we have been trained, where we have been initiated by the highest teachers, very wise elders, to be this love we are now. The love that basically is a human heart that has the expansive energy of the universe, and we may not even know what that is. But we are it, the space of it, the holding of it. And in the sexuality, in the emergence, in the consciousness, in the tenderness, the sweetness, and the playfulness, the energy that moves through us, the energy we give through our creativity, creates a door for people, very much like ourselves, and people who desire to break through, gives them a door in which they can open at any time, and they can break through. They can begin to evolve beyond the foolish beginning of their life and the foolish end of their life. and the habit, pattern, behavior of being fooled, of being a trickster, being tricked, being naive, being stupefied, being irresponsible, and living a life of shame that never ends until you're destroyed. That life doesn't have to become of their life. It doesn't. And that's what we've been assigned to do in many ways. So I can see it all the way in Egypt. I know it in Egypt. I remember it because my ancestors and this blood that I carry in my veins actually goes to Egypt thousands of thousands of thousands of thousands of years ago. And I can see those ancestors. I can see the chief. I can see the great old wise woman. I can see them now teaching me the great magic show of the world that will present you all kinds of damaged beliefs and how to know yourself amongst such inflicted reality. And in manifesting reality, as we do, and many people have no clue that they're doing that, because nobody in this world is taught to believe they can manifest their reality. Nobody is taught, and we're not meant to be taught. We're not meant to explore these sort of metaphysical qualities of human being, because in exploring such pattern and habit would make us inventors, innovators, and creative minds that are actually able of redefining history. And if history is in the hands of who knows who, the great agendas that are all competing and controlling and trying to get the upper hand, reforming and redefining and reinventing society itself, possibly even the civilization, that is possible. And though we're not taught that, we're taught the opposite. The agenda, the prevailing force, whatever that is, we have no idea. We're meant to just believe whatever we hear. And me saying this and expressing this seems quite daunting and quite unnerving. And yet, it makes me feel creatively liberated. Because how can I be creative without transforming whatever foolish thought or foolish action in me into something heartfelt? How can I truly step into a new fashion, a new trend, a new age of creativity if I cannot transform these foolish ideas that have been planted in me from a world that for some reason wants me to think less, which seems even more irrational than to be trained to think more of myself. But I know that's just all a part of the game, the magic show. It's our greatest test. I see it. It's our greatest test as human beings, and in many ways we are damaged and destroyed, and many of us lose the sound, the pure sound of our creative mind, because the mind gets so noisy and cluttery and so scrambled. But the creative mind is restored when our heart begins to evolve beyond the being unaware, being unknowledgeable in being without a sense of discovery with yourself, a sense of self-psychology, and as difficult as it seems to function without the heartfelt, it actually is the only way for us to actually reach the status of excellence, both in the creative mind, both in the physical body, our sexuality, and in our wealth, true wealth that is both tangible, both in love, but also the wealth of having the ancestors around you, everywhere around you, because you have united with each and every one, and that gives you power, and that gives you blessing and prayer, and there's nothing more powerful and strong than a blessing and a prayer that's given to you by your lineage, by your ancestors that stand around you, giving you the protection of the mightiest accord, giving you the greatest blessing and prayer and the greatest lover that will help you to be the heart of your tribe that you are demanding and reconstructing in your family, which I believe is the greater wealth, because not only is there the resource of tangible, but there's also the resource of being safe, being supported, and having a team that is true for you. Not a team of fools, because that's so easy. A team that you have been with for many, many, many missions. And that team gives you the wealth of the universe, because that team is the universe. Because when you die and you face this team, both ancestral, spirit guide, both friends, lover, business partners, you're there in the universe. You're expanded in the universe, and they're there with you, expanding with you. They're there with you in this great expansion of creativity, and they just so happen to be quite a match for you, and have been a match for you as you voyage, not just on Earth, you voyage everywhere with each other. Because we're strongest as a team, and everybody knows that. And that's why we're foolish, because we're all thinking, do it alone, disconnected, in your discrimination and your separation from your ancestors, and the great shame that to be yourself, and the great, it's irrational to actually believe in something that challenges the logic mind. But we know, because we've seen it. We may not have seen it in the dark age that has seemed never ending for many people, but we have seen it before that, and we've seen it other places, other planets. And we know that to find the balance is to actually begin to remember it, develop it, and use it well. And when we really use it well, it's like the creativity of us is just so in sync with the heart. And whatever that creativity is, since it's so sincere, in such a fearless and yet charismatic and sweet, loyal way, it has the impact of 1,000 angels. And we don't even need to know what we're doing. We don't even need to know about each and every angel that we're channeling. It doesn't even have to appear that we're channeling anything at all. It doesn't even have to be announced. It doesn't even have to be disclosed. But we know that the feelings are very, very powerful. A being who's actually feeling in any position of darkness or light, there's great energy, there's great potential, both to destroy yourself and to master yourself. But the feelings is the leading force to why we complete our lives and why we take the chances we do, why we believe in ourselves, and why we gain wealth, true wealth. Because the feelings is the greatest portal, the greatest gateway to greater resources, which is the feelings is your access to the tribe, to the ancestors, and they have it in them to share with you how you cannot just be so-so, but how you can actually excel the way they couldn't, the way they tried, the way they almost, the way they did and many times did. How you can carry that victory that they have already have in them. How you can carry it, use it as a stepping stone, use it as a platform, use it as the tidal wave. It's not just you, it's all the generations that are moving you into the excellence of the bloodline. And this is a truth that society will never tell you. But those who have that kind of wealth of the feeling, of the creative mind, they know it's not just random, it's not just picking the right end of the stick. It's because there is a quality, a trait about that person that makes them deeply, deeply efficient, poetic, and expansive.